Hey, Brian Goulet here at the Goulet Pen Company, and I am introducing today the Pilot Falcon. Not the Namiki Falcon, the Pilot Falcon. It's basically the same pen. It's being rebranded, being offered in Rhodium trim, and also a soft, extra fine nib. So I thought it'd be something worth covering here in a video, and that's what I'm going to show you here today. So if you are already familiar with the Namiki Falcon, this pen is not that different. It really isn't. Pilot is actually undergoing a kind of a brand shift with pens that are in this range. So Namiki was originally established as the brand in the US to kind of distinguish from the lower end Pilot pens like the Varsity, the G2, you know, those kind of more disposable pens. So Namiki was meant to be kind of the fine writing side of the Pilot brand in the US. Well, they've wanted to further distinguish it recently. As of here, it's December of 2013. So what they're doing is they're keeping the really high-end stuff, the Machiers, the Sterling collection, all of that, that is staying Namiki. And they're changing the Falcon to the Pilot. So it'll be Pilot fine writing instead of Namiki. So everybody out there and their cousin has heard of the Namiki Falcon pretty much. So it's going to take a long time before everybody starts referring to it. Maybe they won't even ever change it. I mean, I think about the Sailor Sapporo changed its name like 4 years ago, and people still call it the Sapporo instead of the Pro Gear Slim. So, you know, changing brand names like this kind of takes a while, but anyway, that's what's happening. So the former Namiki Falcon is now changing over to the Pilot Falcon, and this pen is doing it from the get-go. The one with the gold trim will eventually transition over. So basically, aside from the name, there's really not much difference between these two pens. You've got a Rhodium trim and a gold trim, but the overall dimensions and everything else is going to be exactly the same. The nib design is the same, the weight is the same, still comes with a Con 50, takes Pilot proprietary cartridges, and so on. So same price, you know, $144 street price, if you will, for both pens. So that's not that much that's different other than that name change and a couple of small aesthetic things. So the things that are different, the most exciting one to me is the fact that this pen, the Pilot Falcon with the Rhodium trim, is available in a soft, extra fine nib. And I already showed that off in one of my other videos, but this is a nib that has not previously been available in the Namiki Falcon, the one with the gold trim. That's only got a soft, fine, medium, and broad. The Rhodium one has a soft, fine, medium, and broad, but also has a soft, extra fine, just like the Pilot Metal Falcon does. If you've seen any of my previous videos on the Pilot Metal Falcon, that's one of the reasons I love that pen so much, was the fact it had that soft, extra fine nib. And the nib on this one is the exact same as what you'll find on the Metal Falcon. So if you don't want to pony up an extra $100 for that Pilot Metal Falcon, then this pen should excite you a lot. Now, aside from just the nib, there are a couple other things that make this pen stand out a little bit. It's got the Rhodium trim, which a lot of people like, as opposed to the yellow gold. I know me personally, I tend to prefer Rhodium trim, but it's really kind of a personal preference thing. It's really up to you as to what you like better, but I know that Rhodium, as of late, has been pretty popular, especially for our customers here at Goulet. There's a couple other small things. One of them is because of the rebranding, the center band on the Rhodium one has Pilot Japan written on it instead of Namiki Japan, like the yellow gold one has. I don't know at what point the yellow gold one is going to convert over. I'm sure it will at some point because it is being rebranded, but as of right now, the one I have is still says Namiki. It'll transition over a little bit and be Pilot, but the Rhodium ones are always going to be Pilot from the get-go. They won't have Namiki on them. The other small aesthetic thing is that if you look at the finial of the pens, you'll see that on the gold one, it has just a black finial, just matches the rest of the cap. And on the Rhodium one, it has this Rhodium finial kind of in there. It's very subtle, you know, it's not glaring, but it is different than the yellow one. So thought I'd point that out to you. And if you really want to get picky, you can see that the trim ring that's just below the threads on the grip section is a little bit fatter on the Rhodium one than it was on the gold. But that's really, really getting picky. I just pointed that out because it's something I noticed. I look these pins over, as thoroughly as I can and try and catch all this stuff. But other than that, the two pens are identical. Another thing that's different, this isn't something that's necessarily because of the Rhodium trim Falcon, but it is an evolution that's kind of happened over a while, is the box has changed. So originally when I shot a Namiki Falcon video like 3 years ago or something, it had Pilot's old box. They're actually changing all the boxes over to all their pens to these ones with these clear windows on the top. They're doing that for just about everything, the custom 74s. They're doing that for the vanishing points. They've been transitioning over for a while, but all of the Rhodium trim Pilot Falcons are coming with this new clear box. Filling the Pilot Falcon is pretty straightforward. It's just like all of the other Pilot converter pens that you have. It's got a Con 50 in it. It's really easy to fill. If you have any questions about the Pilot Falcon in the Soft Extra Fine or in any nib size, or any pen for that matter, what the heck, go ahead and leave a comment here on YouTube or on Ink Nouveau, or hit me up on Facebook or Twitter. Thanks so much for spending time with me today, and as always, right on.